Happy New Year. Whether you're watching this on New Year's Day, the day I'm recording it, or at any other time, thinking about this time of reflection where we reflect on the past year and we perhaps pause to notice what we've learned, what we want to bring into the new year, and perhaps set intentions around the new year. And I like to think of this as an ongoing process. It's not something that just happens on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, but this whole season of threshold time. This month is named after the god Janus, that has a backward looking and a forward looking face. So, being able to take our time, I start this process generally even at the beginning of December and do a lot of writing and reflection and carry on that process well into the new year. So wherever you are now and thinking about, I like to think of this as a process of reflection, not like, oh, I need to be a better person in 2023. I, of course, could stand to perhaps be more skillful in my thoughts, words, and actions, but it isn't inherently about thinking that you're like a makeover, but more a deeper way of engaging with life. And there's other opportunities to do this. We can do this at the beginning of every day. Sometimes we do this on our birthday, at the change of a decade, or some other life changing event that shows up. But this is being 2023, moving from 2022 to 2023, and it does definitely seems the past 3 years at least, it's been just really, we've had a lot of opportunities to be challenged and how we've shown up to those challenges and being able to shape and be in the flow of life and responsive without being reactive is part of my practice that I want to pay attention to. And when we talk about intention in the yogic tradition, the word Sankalpa is this intention that comes from our deepest desire, our heart's deepest desire. It's something that we feel in all the layers of our being. All the layers in the yogic tradition, they're called the koshas. And this Sankalpa that emerges from here, it's something that we tend to. It's something that we pay attention to and nurture and cultivate. So I, want to bring in from this pasture, I want to bring this presence, this awareness of presence into my life. And I'm still shaping and molding my intentions for 2023. I have some sprouts, but nothing concrete yet. So we're going to have a practice together. If you are watching this on my YouTube channel at any time, you're welcome to use this as a morning practice. This is going to be a short, gentle practice and centering on beginnings, opening for possibilities. So finding your comfortable seat, whether you're sitting in a chair or using a prop like a bolster, blocks, or cushions. Settling into your bones, letting the bones, let the heaviness of your bones settle you into the earth. At the same time that you allow and have an awareness of the heaviness of your bones, lengthen the crown up toward the sky. And I like to bring my hand at the top of my head so I can actually feel, because so much of my waking life is spent with my head down on a screen or in a book or whatever that the activity may be, feeling that length of that crown of the head up toward the sky. Connecting here to the dimensionality of your being, feeling the back of your body, the side, waist, and checking in with where it feels comfortable to have your hands. Palms down, palms up, hand on your heart, hand on your belly. You can keep your eyes open or closed. Since it's the morning, sometimes it's nice to have your gaze directed towards light. So you do what feels right for you. And connecting here to yourself in this threshold time. And thinking about, I like to think of this idea of bringing things from the past year that we've learned, sort of this process of composting. Oftentimes the things that have challenged us, where we've had life lessons presented, aren't things of our own choosing. So thinking about what you're composting, what you're bringing forth, and I'm sharing that mine is presence, because that practice of rooting myself into the present moment, even when the present moment has been challenging, has really been a gift to me. This idea of presencing, of awareness. And so you might think about what you're bringing into the new year, and you might already have an intention or a word that you want to form your intentions around for the new year. I don't yet have that. It's January 1st, 2023. I don't yet have my word for the year, but I'm okay with that. It might not emerge for a while. And then bringing the breath into our practice. So as you're breathing in and out, if you're able to breathe in and out through your nose, great. If not, use whatever combination of nose and mouth work for you. But just begin to slow your breath down on the inhale and the exhale. And invite on the inhalation a sense of expansion. And invite on the exhalation a sense of release, of letting go. It's sort of one of the great paradoxes of this type of practice. We can't actually change things until we accept what is present. So inhaling, inviting expansion, opening ourselves fully to the present moment. And exhale, letting go into the flow of life. Do that for 2 more breaths, inhaling and exhaling. Expanding on the inhale, releasing on the exhale. Activating the sympathetic nervous system on the inhale, activating the parasympathetic nervous system on the exhale, having a balance of engagement and release. And then you are invited to participate in creating sound in the resonating chamber of your body, feeling the resonant nature of your being through the sound you are producing in your own body through the sound of the hum. Your voice can travel or stay on one pitch. You don't have to match what I'm doing. Taking your time to take a deep breath in. Nice. Go ahead and taking your hands and rubbing them together, generating some heat. So this is going to be a simple practice that you can bring into your morning if you choose. We'll start with self-massage, letting your hands come to the brow point and stroking from the brow point to the temples. In the evening, you can do the same practice with a little bit more gentleness. In the morning, I tend to have a little bit more vigorous movement, a little bit more pressure with my hands. Smooth, steady breaths, making circles at the temple, reversing. And then I'm going to take my glasses off. Taking your hands from the third eye at the brow, in between the brow, down the sides of the nose, cheekbones, up to the temple, sort of like you're making a giant U. And then the larger science of yoga, which is Ayurveda, self massage is a big practice, big part of the practice in the morning and the evening. And there's different ways to use oil and other supports, but we're just going to use our fingers. And then go ahead and come to the jaw, opening and closing, coming along down inside the chin. If you grind your teeth at night, this might be a really lovely thing. And you can do this with the humming too, with the jaw. And then bringing your hands to your head, to your skull, keeping that nice length up through the crown. Sort of like you're giving yourself a vigorous shampoo, massaging the scalp. And coming to the ears, if you have lots of piercings, be careful and delicate. Coming along just gently inside the ear, down the earlobe, behind the ear. And then bringing your hands into the occipital lobe, pressing in and up, lifting the head up. And then taking your hands on either side of the cervical spine, coming down the sides of the neck. Go ahead and release your hands. Notice what's present. Go ahead and let your left ear move towards your left shoulder, keeping your shoulders square. Left hand can come up over towards that right ear. Smooth, steady breaths here, and letting the chin come towards the left armpit, maybe bringing that right hand up, getting into the traps, the sinewy tendons and tissue here, breathing in and out, and then gradually, slowly release and move to the other side, letting the right ear move toward the right shoulder. Right hand comes up just to gently rest here, paying attention to the neck, moving with tenderness here. Notice where you tend to have, where we hold tension in our body often is habitual. We can learn about our habits. We can learn to find skillful ways to shift habits that aren't going to be in our in service. And releasing, noticing what's present. Taking your left hand to the top of your right arm, down the arm, palm, up underneath the armpit and down the side of your body. So we want to really be able to, especially in this season of Vata, this season of cold and dry or cold and wet, to help circulate lymph fluid through our body in reverse direction. Doing that a couple times. And one more time. And back to center. Taking our hands to the sternum, this little indentation, thumping the thymus here. Thymus thumping. Stimulating this immune response. And then bringing your hands down, and I am mirroring, but I'm not mirroring this particular action. So if you look down at your hands, right above your navel, right at the low rib cage, you're going to move them in a clockwise movement down the descending, transverse, and ascending colon. Breathing in and out. And then go ahead and take your legs. I like to you can just bring them out in front of you. I like to bring the heels of my hands really into this part of the hip flexors and the IT band where the tissue tends to get really dense, and when it's dense, it's difficult for the tissue to be fully hydrated. So I might spend a little bit more time here and then come down along the outside, inside, up into the groin, just moving. All right. And then go ahead and take one of your feet in your hand, and you can rub beneath each toe on the ball mound. Get into the ball mound, the arch of the foot, heel, switch sides. So many of the Western postural yoga wants to just like have it be a workout, and yoga really and truly is a work in, and we want to pay attention to our bodies and take care of our bodies, and that doesn't always look like just jumping in full into a practice. And particularly, go ahead and take your feet and rotate out and in, particularly when the weather's cold. We want to, before we're going out and doing things that require stability and strength, flexibility, we want to stimulate blood flow, warm our bodies up, find the pain-free range of movement in our joints. So as you're moving your feet, noticing the parts of your body that are moving in response. Noticing you might even feel the head of the femur bone in your ball and socket joint. And then go ahead and take one of your legs. Let the leg that's on the ground have the foot flex, so it's part of creating stability. And just bending and straightening this leg, moving in the joints. Pawanmuktasana, as it's also known, is this beautiful warm-up. And then you can take the foot and make a circle, reversing direction, and then let the ball and socket joint be part of the experience. And then letting that leg come down. I'm not letting my knee go, or the joint of the knee come all the way down and lock, so keep a little micro bend in that knee, so especially if you're hypermobile. And repeating that on this side. Bending and straightening. Making a circle. Reversing direction. And then bringing the ball and socket joint. All the ways we were created to move. This practice of paying attention to being alive and how we can connect to our aliveness. A lot of that is through movement and breath. All right, so let's come to standing. Take your time. And let the feet, the ankles, you can step one foot forward and come up on the top of the toes and give a little stretch and make a little bit of movement here. And then switching sides, little stretch, little movement. And then bringing the feet a little closer together. And you can keep your torso as high up as you like, or you can come down. Give your kneecaps a little massage and then make some slow circles in one direction. And then the other. And then coming up, stepping the feet out. Maybe the feet could be more shoulder width. And making some slow circles with your hips. Reversing direction. Feeling not only the hips move here, but feel the relationship to the rib cage. Feeling the back ribs, the front ribs, the side body. And then let the feet come so they are like right below the feet are more in alignment with the hips, with the iliac crest. And then let the shoulders come up and back. Breathing in and out. You can stay here, or you can let the elbows and releasing and reversing. And you can stay here, or you can let the elbows one more breath cycle. Releasing, feeling the Shoulder blades just rest on the back ribs, space between the ears and the shoulders. Bring our hands out and move in this circular pattern, getting the wrists and the fingers and the elbows, and then reversing. Great. And then take your hands, making your fingers like pretend piano, and bringing the fingers into the palms if that's available to you. All right, so our joints, we did the self massage, we did our joint movement. So your practice can be a little longer if you choose, but we're just going to do one sun salutation with a little bit of movement in between. So if you have blocks or blanket that you want to use, have them handy. And once again, the Surya Namaskar is this beautiful recognition of the rhythm of life, the ebbs and flows, living in rhythm with the day, the night, the season. And here we are in this auspicious threshold time. You can bring your hands to Anjali Mudra here if you like, or any other mudra, grounding through the soles of your feet, feeling your feet on the earth. Here you are, or my location is oriented toward the magnetic North Pole on this auspicious threshold time, feeling your feet on the earth wherever you are, whatever time you might be viewing this practice. Finding that, letting the tailbone sort of lengthen and root toward the earth, letting the lower ribs and the hip points just sort of have an awareness of each other, feeling that activation of your core. Think about that idea of a Sankalpa coming from your core values, your heart's deepest desire, your core values. And it can be helpful during this time to spend time checking in. Have my values shifted? Has anything compromised my values? Has anything happened that has caused me to question my values or choices? So this is a time of reflection to dig in deep with those inquiries. And then our hearts. Here we are with our hearts grounded, connected, and open. So on your next inhalation, go ahead and inhale. Let the arms come up. Let the palms be front, forward facing. And keep the shoulder blades nesting on the back ribs. Nice, strong, tall mountain. Taking a breath here. As you exhale, coming all the way down. Using blocks or supports. And lengthen the spine here. Nice long spine. Feeling the muscles in your back and in your belly. And then exhale, coming down into your forward fold. You can wrap the hands behind and gently bend, and not really straightening the knees, but just creating a little less bend in the legs. Look up and lengthen, and step back with the left foot. And take a moment to look down and see if your feet are sort of more on a balance beam, and walk them out so they're a little bit more like a railroad track. So you might walk your right foot out a little bit to the right, left foot out to a little bit to the left. Give your pelvic floor space. Give your whole sacrum a place to spread and widen. And sink down into your lunge. Nice long spine. And if you make any movement here that feels curious or interesting to you, be bending and straightening, making circles. You can stay here, or you can bring the right hand to your waist and lengthen and rotate the torso. Taking your time to come back to center. We'll bring the left knee down. Walk the right foot out a little bit more in front, and maybe your block's a little bit more in back. I'll take this off so you can see what I'm doing. And our inhale will be a nice, just coming forward with ease. As you exhale, press down into that right foot to let the foot come off the mat and straighten that right leg a little. Inhaling forward, exhale. when we exhale, when we allow this to not just be a passive stretch, we give like an exfoliation into the fascia, which can tend to be dense in the hamstring area. And then coming up to center, take your time to lift the arms up, opening the heart, breathing in and out, taking a deep breath in here. As you exhale, let the right arm come forward and the left arm move back. Inhale, back up. Exhale, left arm moves forward, right arm moves back. Coming back up. And then taking your time to come down, bringing the knee back. You can move your blocks out of the way. Coming down onto the forearms. And coming forward here, nice, easy forward movement on the inhale. As you exhale, my toes are on the mat. Exhale, press down into the forearms, press down, and slowly come back. Little bit of a rounding, chin into chest. Inhale, release all the engagement, come forward, soften. Exhale, engage. Getting into the fascia in the shoulder girdle on that exhale. Couple more breaths. And then go ahead and let your hands come forward, and we'll come into plank. Coming into your plank, breathing in and out. Feel the shoulder blades still resting on the lower ribs. Engage the feet. Let the arms move toward each other. Take a deep breath in. Coming into our Adho Mukha Shavasana. And you can move from side to side here. Pedal the feet. Breathing in, breathing out. And then take your time to step your feet towards your hands. Strong legs, root to rise. Coming all the way up. And exhale, coming all the way back down. Inhale, we'll look up and lengthen. Exhale, come back down. Inhale, look up, and we'll step back with the right foot. Here we have that lunar part of our body, that left, more feminine, receptive side open in our exploration movement, making any movement that feels curious or interesting, widening the feet so you have spaciousness in the sacrum. You're able to have space in the pelvic floor. And then take your time to bring the right knee down. And we'll walk the blocks back, the left foot forward, and we'll do the same thing here. We'll inhale forward, exhale, pressing into that leg as you straighten it. Not the whole way into the knee joint, but exfoliating the fascia in the hamstring. One more exhale. And then coming back to center, taking your time to find your balance and bringing the arms up here. Breathing in and out. Taking a deep breath in. As you exhale, let that right arm come forward as the left arm reaches back. One hand in the future, one hand in the past. But yet our heart and our core are in the present. Inhaling back up. Exhale, left arm is in the front, right arm is in the back. Straddling this threshold. Inhale, coming back up one more time, and then we'll come down. Let the knee come back. Move the blocks out of the way. We'll inhale, come up to tall kneel. Breathing in and out. As you exhale, coming down, coming onto the forearms again, and this time we'll loosely link the hands. Inhale, coming forward. Exhale, lift the hips. Let the head walk. Bring the head back between the elbows. Breathing in and out here. Maybe noticing heat. 2 more breaths. making sure your face and your hands are soft. And then take your time to come down to the knees, coming into form of the child, and maybe moving back and forth a little bit, getting a little massage in the large intestine, which is one of the organs that's associated with the element of Vata, which is the season we're in, which has to do with space, making room. Breathing in and out, what we need to let go of, what we want to take with us into the new year. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, lift the hips up once again into Adho Mukha Shavasana. Heart and head humbly moving toward the earth. And then take your time to step your feet and hands midway towards your mat, and we'll come up. And exhale our hands to our heart center, Anjali Mudra. Feeling the heat in your body, the breath in your body, your connection with the earth. In this threshold time, contemplating your aliveness, what you have learned from the past year, what you want to take in with you into the new year, what you want to leave behind. And maybe what will emerge will be something that you want to cultivate for yourself. So if you have time and space, you might come down and do some journaling, some reflection, meditation, or otherwise go on about your day. So thank you for sharing this practice, honoring this beautiful practice of yoga, the living, breathing tradition, honoring and respecting the source culture of the Indus Valley, South Asia, honoring my teachers past and present, honoring this auspicious time that we're in, and the beautiful living, breathing organism that is our planet and the larger cosmos we coexist in. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. Peace, peace, peace.